As soon as she learned the Marine's axiom regarding the thumb and a nuclear blast, she instantly gets the opportunity to try it out for herself.
Is it your thumb or mine?
We then see Janie and Cooper riding off in what appears to be oblivion. Then, of course, with the intro of the Ghoul, we are left with some questions. Firstly, how did the Ghoul survive? I got a vid for that. The link is in the description box below. But what happened to Janie? In that same video, I suggest that Janie has a tracker on her, and some way, somehow, Barb or Voltec or the Enclave finds Janie, rips her away from her dad, leaving him to fend for himself, eventually turning into the Ghoul. But then we are left with Janie's story. What happened to her, and what can we expect moving forward? Obviously, with Coop seeing Hank, he realizes, well, goddamn, there may be a way for my wife and daughter to be alive, prompting him to ask this.
Where's my family?
So cool. As of right now, we do not know for sure if Barb and Janie is even alive. But as I just alluded to, I think with Cooper actually seeing Hank, he comes to realize that there definitely is a way for his daughter and his wife to still be alive in the current time period. But I'm not really here to try and explore Janie's survival or Barb's survival. I think that'll happen regardless, or at least, that will pan out in such a way where it is explained to us. I am a firm believer that Janie is alive, but I'm more curious to try and speculate and understand what kind of story they will tell with her character. And this is what this video is all about. Some serious speculation regarding Janie. So please take everything I say moving forward with a grain of salt. As mentioned above, I believe Janie was ripped away from Coop, and one of the company's Vault-Tec or the Enclave stashed her away in cryosleep. Now, I think the best way for them to write Janie back into the TV series is have her show up as some sort of evil scientist, kind of like Father from Fallout 4. Well, he isn't evil, but for the sake of keeping things simple, I'm going to say evil. For those of you not familiar with the Fallout 4 story, I'm going to give you the quick edition. In Fallout 4, you, the Vault Dweller, enter Vault 111 before the nuclear fallout, and either your husband or your wife, depending on what gender you chose, enters a cryopod right in front of you while holding your son, Sean. Then, 150 years after entering cryosleep, this happens.
I got him.
Let the boy go. I'm only gonna tell you once.
I'm not giving you Sean.
So yes, your spouse is dead and you lose your son. Then you, the Vault Dweller, wake from your cryosleep, hell-bent on finding your long-lost child. You roam the wasteland until you run into the Institute. You find your son, now in charge of the Institute, and in my opinion, he is kind of dickish. Not to you, but to everyone else, and his ideologies are all kinds of loopy. Again, not his fault, given he was indoctrinated by the Institute. So, their values and morals were shoved down his throat at a very young age. And by the end of it all, Sean's perspectives greatly differ from yours or mine. And now let's bring it back to Janie. It would be the best twist to have her found by Coop, only for Coop to realize she is now a completely different person, one influenced by either Vault-Tec or the Enclave or another party like the Institute. And because I'm leaning heavily into Janie being swayed and influenced by, I guess, like evil ideologies, we have to get into a bit more of what our comparison character, Sean / the father, goes through while he was indoctrinated by the Institute. A secretive scientific community based in the Commonwealth was established in 2110 by survivors of the Commonwealth Institute of Technology and their descendants. Viewing itself as an oasis of wisdom and wealth in a decaying world, they've created several groundbreaking technologies by 2287, including teleportation and synthetic humans. Okay, the long and short of it is they want to advance humanity, and they believe they are the best faction to pursue this cause. Sounds familiar. Literally sounds like every faction in the Wasteland. And don't get me wrong, these guys are very smart. Synths and teleportation devices? Yeah, that's pretty insane. Now, all of this comes at a cost. For starters, they do not care about the wasteland dwellers. They view them as savages. Not only that, even though they say they are working for the betterment of humanity, they are continuously attacking other factions just because they do not align with what the Institute believes in. and they are replacing real people with synths, all in the name of science. So, they are all evil because they are exploitive. They disregard the humans that are currently struggling to survive, and they will pretty much do anything in the name of advancing science. I hope you guys are starting to get a sense of what I'm trying to say here. If Coop were to find Janie, sure, he'd be happy she's alive, but the turmoil he would experience might be catastrophic. Now, I don't know how an ending could be written if this were to come to pass. I just love the idea of pure little Janie turning into some arrogant scientist with complete disregard for wastelanders. Because, let's face it, Coop has made a name for himself as a wastelander, living all this time to find answers. Then, imagine at the end of it all, he finds out that his baby girl has become part of the monster he has struggled to fight against all his life. That would be an ironic twist, and as mentioned, one that would be gut-wrenching. I can see it now. Coop being forced to make this decision, spare his daughter's life or take it from her because of their contradicting perspectives. Now let's add the final nail to the coffin here. For that, let's go back to the Institute. The scientists of the Institute were cocooned in their own world, and they diligently pursued their work, oblivious to the chaos and annihilation from the outside world. Over time, the scientists became indifferent to the impact of their actions on the surface, sometimes leading to the obliteration of entire settlements. I think this idea of being oblivious will be the final nail in the coffin. Coop has a certain level of disdain towards Voltes. I think he came to see that Lucy was a byproduct of the testing as opposed to being the one conducting the tests themselves. And with my Janie theory, if Coop finds out that it was Janie who conducted maybe certain tests and became indifferent towards human beings, her sense of moral depravity would be what juxtaposes Coop's own perspectives and would effectively be the wedge between him and his daughter. So I think, to sum this all up, at the end of it all, it would be nice that Cooper does find Janie, but it just feels right given how the Fallout universe works with their twists and their plots. This would just be a nice addition to that continued process of storytelling because Cooper clearly has a perspective. He has a stance on Vault-Tec and by extension the Enclave and really anybody who just mistreats other people because of how he is as a person. Like I know they were talking a little bit about his political perspective and his point of view before the Fallout, but I think that just plays or it's just a way for us to understand where he is coming from as opposed to where the scientists or those furthering science from the Fallout universe stand. And it would be an amazing little twist if we find out that Janie now stands against him. Anyways, I'm going to stop it there. I don't want to go much further into this rabbit hole of speculation. In my opinion, this type of ironic twist would be the type of storytelling we would come to expect from the Fallout universe. So what do you guys think about my Janie theory? Let me know in the comment section down below. I know there are maybe like 2 or 3 seasons away from actually seeing the end of this series, but I'd like to hear in general what you guys think. Share your thoughts down below and let's get talking. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.